All right, students, we're going to be doing the Ecology WebQuest. Hope you had a good evening. So you're supposed to be looking at population. So what is a population? That is a group of members. Can I spell right now? Members of the same species, Not giving you, all right, so like humans. All right, name two things that increase population. That would be birth rates. Okay, I guess less predators, more food. Okay, just the opposite. On the other one, greater death rates. Okay, more predators. Like and then the competition for food is harder, so less food. All right, and remember, you could actually go to the website, which was right over here, and it tells you about populations, the health of the population, okay, and then predators and the competition, and then basically the physical environments, their competition, which is kind of what it, and also geographic locations, and sometimes they get trapped between two areas, so that can actually have an effect as well. But we will go back to our handout, and I don't think it was this one. This one, yeah. All right, so I'm back on the let's see, I have a message here from one of you. Yeah. All right, never mind. All right, so we've got to do that. All right, humans and dogs live together as part of the same population. Why are not they none of their community? Okay, so they're different species. That equals a community, not a population. All right, fill in the table below of limiting factors. So what do we have? We just had it right here. So here's the limiting factors: physical, competition, and geographic. So we will put that there. So physical, okay, physical, okay, competition, and this is geographic probably. Okay. So again, if you go right to here, or sorry, right to the site, they're going to talk about exactly what it is. So physical means like their environments, it comes too hot, that like, everything changes, the physical limits, meaning like it gets way too hot, freezes, it gets too cold. All right. Then there's competition, where that's like competition for food and, for breeding as well. All right. And then there's also geographic. Okay. So sometimes you get cut off from different areas. So we're just going to put those things in here. Okay. Barriers. That's actually physical barriers. Physical. Okay. Barriers. Like heat. Actually, they should temperature and precipitation. Getting rainfall, you have problems as well. Let's see if I spelled that wrong. Yeah, I did. Okay. Come on. We'll just precipitate. Where'd I go on precipitation? Looks pretty decent. All right. So competition is, food sources. Okay. Sources. Can't spell them right. All right. And what else? Competition. Breeding. Okay. And let's see, predators. There's more of them or less. All right, geographic is the location is compromised. Okay. All right, so we did that one. Let's keep moving. All right, we saw where I got that from. So if we go to this one, let's see if we can actually go to the website. And if it's not, I thought I put in new tabs for some of you to see. All right, so now we talk about what is an ecosystem, and they have it right here: pollution, overexploitation, invasive species, and climate change. Now we're going to be talking about all these things in class this week. So, all right. So what is an ecosystem? Well, again, ecosystem ecology, it had it right here. I'm trying to find a way so you can copy and paste it. Right, definition, there it is right there. Just take the whole thing, copy it and paste it. All right, but we're gonna read it as well. Okay, so we're not gonna just get away with that. Control B. All right, so it's between living and non-living things. Basically, that was what an ecosystem is. Remember, biomes are divided by huge groups of ecosystems of similar environmental issues, or like temperature and precipitation, populations, and different organisms of the same sort of species. All right, now factors that affect ecosystems. Again, we just go right back to here. We know that we go through pollution. And what am I doing? Overexploitation, invasive species. So essentially, what am I doing? Well, let's see if we can just do it directly. I'm just looking at the major things, then I'm putting them right here. So we know that this is control B. So we know we've got pollution. And then we've got, overexploitation. All right. And then control C. Go back to I'm trying to show you how easy this can be. Control B, go back over to here, invasive species. We'll do that as well. No, just that by itself. By itself. Control C. All right, and then that was right here. Then we're going to put in what the definition of each one of these is. So what is pollution? What is that? Factors affecting the air, water, and soil. Okay. All right. What is over exploitation? All right. Well, what is that? Like when we take too much of something, we burn things down when the soil is depleted because we've been, farming on that for like many different centuries and years, or we take most of the fish out of the waters so that they don't have a chance to, repopulate. So, killing, that's what it is. Species for it's actually overkilling species. Overkilling species and damaging their food web. All right, so that's what you're going to be drawing in class. So remember, a food web is an interconnected. So if one species is, taken out, then the other two species are affected, or multi-species are affected. Our invasive species are species that move from one location to another and damage the new ecosystem. All right. All right, so like the quagga mussels that I told you about that people were taking from one lake all the way to another were actually like just killing everything on the bottoms of the lakes. So that they're considered an invasive species. All right, let's move on to website 3 and see if it works. I'll go to the handout. Let's see if 3 works. We should get them all in there. I'm proud of at least the 2 students that are hanging out with me. One of them I'll probably have to pass because he has come to more than one of my boring Zoom meetings. All right. So this is food chain. So we talk about something like that. So we're going to go over to here. So of course, I just want to check to see whether that link works so that you're not like you're whining about different things. All right. Describe what animals and plants get their energy. All energy comes from the sun. I can even put that. What are food chains and how are they set up? Okay. From least complex to most complex. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much okay. What are food chains? Okay. Various species that are interconnected. That's probably a good one. Interconnected. All right. All right, click toward bigger food chains. What do you think arrows the food chains represent? Okay. Their food source. That's what it is. Okay. All right. Explain how the last food chain represents a full circle of life. Huh. All right. Now, what should I do for that? Right here. Where's food chain? Food chain. One goes from one to the other. Okay. Copy image. Let's go right here to the handout. This is what meant control V. There's the picture. So how does this, well, oh no, then it dies and it comes back and the plants actually use it. So this one's not a good representative of this. Okay, let's go undo. Undo. All right. When plants and animals die, they return nitrogen to the soil, which is converted into a gas. Okay, and we need that gas. Remember, we have 78% nitrogen is what we're breathing. All right, let's move on to the next one. Ecological terms, you know, we've kind of discussed these in class, what an herbivore, an omnivore, a carnivore, and decomposer is. Definition and what do they eat? So obviously it's a plant eater. Okay. Plant and animal eater. I guess that's what they call it. What they eat. Consumer. We should put consumer. All right, forget it though. All right. All right. This is an animal consumer only. Okay. This is only. Okay. Right? Wouldn't it, I guess that's kind of redundant because if this one needs both, then it really let's there it is right there. All right. A decomposer consumes, that's why it's a better term, bacteria from the soil and dead organic matter. All right, do that correct? TER. All right. So example, what's this? Okay, grasshopper. Okay, can't spell. Okay, we'll take that word for it. All right, what's an omnivore? Well, humans are. All right, what's a carnivore? Probably a lion. All right, we're just putting anything up here. Hey, what do you have? Mushrooms. Okay. Play the game. We're not doing this one. No need. Because there is no game. I thought about that when I saw it before. All right. Choose a food web. After creating your food web, draw your food web in the space below. You're actually going to be drawing it. Draw on separate sheet. You're doing that tomorrow, so you don't have to do this question if you draw it for me. That's why it's that important. All right, name a consumer in your food web. Well, I don't know what's in your food web. Okay, any plant eater. Okay, this is any plant. Okay, remember, producers produce their own energy. Consumers have to eat a producer for their energy. So the plants themselves are the producers. Maybe decomposer if they have one. So, I mean, you can put worms. Okay, you can put bacteria. You could put, like I said, what we mentioned before, mushrooms actually break down those stuff. All right, what does an energy show? How energy is transferred from one organism to the next. All right. In the diagram, which levels are the carnivores, producers, and omnivores? All right. Well, okay, so your this is what you're doing also. Bottom, plant, then just put them in order. Omnivores. Well, actually, we have to have herbivores first, but it's not listed here. All right. So herbivores, so I'll put next, then omnivores, then carnivores. All right, then carnivores. All right. Let's just leave that one alone. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. I put alternate sites in case these didn't work. Nearly what percent that drives the ecosystem only comes from the blank. All right, so let's see if this one works. Can't do it. All right. So isn't this the water cycle that we're talking about? Yeah. All right. Oh, is this what I can type? Okay. Nearly all of the what? Energy that drives ecosystems only comes from the sun, which is a physical factor. Okay, entering the ecosystem through the process of photosynthesis and cellular respiration. We learned about that earlier in the year. All right. Why are plants called producers? They produce their own food. All right. What are the other producers besides plants? Bacteria. Oh, algae. Sorry. Algae. All right. How much energy do consumers eat? Okay. 10%. This is the 90-10 rule. 90-10 rule. Okay. Well, what does that mean? All right. Only 10%, okay, moves up to the next level. 90% is absorbed as heat within the consumer that eats it. All right, now let's go to this using the diet salad. All right, so we can use that for cell. Name 2 places on Earth we find carbon. All right. How about all living things? So you name 2 of them. Oh, on Earth. Well, it's all living things, and where else? Okay, the atmosphere, in the air, atmosphere. All right. Plants pull carbon in the form of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to make food through a process called what? I hope we know what that one is. Huh? Okay. We've spent so much time on it this year. All right. Photosynthesis. When plants and animals die and decompose, okay, carbon goes back into the ground. Some carbon is buried deep in the ground and forms reservoirs. All right. When humans burn fossil fuels, those reservoirs, okay, carbon is released back into the area. All right. So now we're going to be looking at denitrification, mineralization, fixation, leaching, and nitrification. And these are like a little bit more complex. Some of you have never really heard of the nitrogen cycle. What are 2 ways nitrogen becomes usable to plants, humans, and animals? Okay. It's in the air we breathe and our food. It's in almost all living things, because think about it, all living things need nitrogen. All right, how do herbivores obtain the nitrogen they eat? Plants. How is nitrogen returned to the atmosphere? Okay, is converted by decomposers. That's why they're so important. All right, what are two ways humans impact the nitrogen cycle? Okay, well, we die and we kill things. All right, but we also, produce them too. We also produce them. So, I mean, somebody's got to grow the lettuce, somebody's got to grow tomatoes, somebody's got to grow those things. And we need more people that are in those industries. Right, using this, we're going to be looking at the water cycle, and that looks like it's it. That's all we did. All right, so students, I went through this one by one, and now I am done.